Okay, it's Atlanta's #1 hip-hop station, Hot 107.9 and home for the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. Of course, you know it's your folk, B-High Radio. Shout in, stepping in the building. I got the business bully himself, David Anderson, in this thing. What's good with it,
What
boss?
up, big homie? What up, man?
Feeling good, feeling great. But, Dave,
Yes,
from
sir.
what I understand, when it comes to this business, you get so busy that it's just ridiculous out here, man. Can you just break down for the people that don't know exactly what it is that you got going on? I do understand that you got some books out here on the shelves, too.
Yeah.
Talk to
I got
us.
like 15 of them.
15?
Yo, I write books, bro. Like I be tossing out books like folks be tossing out mixtapes back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
I was going to get into the books later on, but since you want to come with the mixtape book game, then let's get straight into it.
All right.
What was it that made you decide to go straight into being a published author, and how was that lucrative for you as a person that had a wealth of knowledge at the same time?
Well, here's the thing. Like, people don't understand, like, a book is supposed to make you an instant expert, but it's not supposed to be the thing you get rich off of. You know, unless you Stephen King. But even then, if you really break the game down, Stephen King make his money off of licensing, movies, and merchandise. He does not make his money from books.
Ooh.
You see what I'm saying?
Ooh.
The book is just think about it. You may know a few published authors more than the average bear, but most people don't.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And then if you want to give somebody the game, you got to show them that it's profitable.
That's right.
So I would write books about things that people could actually use. Like, okay, this is how you sell somebody on yourself. This is how you sell somebody to turn a profit. This is how you sell some T-shirts, all that type of thing. So I put that in one book. I got another book where I literally took Pokemon Go when it came out, and I broke down all the business principles, how you can make money off of it, how you can turn your situation to a Poke Gym and make that a six-figure earner on top of whatever else you was earning.
Yeah.
When Facebook Live dropped, remember, only the people with blue checks had access to Facebook Live. So me, The Rock, Triple H, folks like that had Facebook Live. So I was literally sitting there ahead of everybody else, showing folks exactly how to use it in order to make money.
Ooh.
So I published that. And that went #1 in 30 countries. You see what I'm saying? And listen, making a 30, 50, 60-page book, it's no shame.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And you get a couple of people over in the Philippines to do the graphics and the layout.
Yep.
Bing, bang, boom. It's up. Amazon, I don't need no publisher. I'm out the trunk, bro.
Oh! Now, talk to me about becoming an authority in business and moving around like that. How has that translated into money as well for you?
Wow. I mean, I will put it to you this way. My mother's retired in Arizona. My house is paid off. I don't have any particular worries. I will never say on camera what I make, but I will say that I am blessed.
Come on
and
now.
God is good.
That's
and
right.
no one can ever fire me, manipulate me, blackball me, try me, any of that. Because, well, I'm not saying I'm bulletproof. I'm just saying that I'm self-sustained.
Exactly.
And that's where we want to get to, but nobody wants to talk about that because everybody want a good job.
Okay, now, Dave, I mean, the lingo that you speak, I love to hear that kind of talk. Talk to me about that transition from corporate life to being a self-sustaining entrepreneur, man.
Bro,
How did you make that transition?
I had no choice.
Oh,
You see what happens is sometimes when people, start to make money,
yeah.
they forget who put them there. They forget, whose shoulders they stand on. They forget who actually was in the back, working 12, 13, 16 hours while they just, go do their thing and shine and look pretty and go home. And so what wound up happening is I got left out in the cold. And I didn't like the cold. I didn't like being homeless. I did not like washing up in a quick trip. And so I said, okay, I'm going to get this one more run. I'm going to get this radio thing one more run. And I did, and I had a great run at another company.
Yeah.
And I did some amazing things for that other company. And they made more money at that other company. I said, okay, no more, I'm retired. So I got myself out of homelessness, living in my brother's garage after wandering the streets of Dallas where people had my phone number.
Yeah.
I stood up at their weddings, but, they didn't know who I was no more. It's like being on a soap opera, you get written off and don't nobody talk about you.
Yeah.
That's what that was like. So that shows you how crazy the game is.
That's facts.
With very few exceptions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And shout out to those exceptions. Like shout out to Head Crack, shout out to Charlemagne. Pretty Ricky, the R&B group, they paid my rent.
What?
Yeah, right before I went homeless, they paid my rent. Because I was playing their records before, you know what I'm saying? And people, reciprocity is a thing. So long story short, when I made that last run and I realized that folks was just making money and I wasn't seeing enough of it, or when they promise you, hey, if you just hit this benchmark, next year, the GM's going to sit down with you and you're going to get a new contract for 30% more of what you're currently making, plus your appearance fees are going to go up, blah, 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 blah. So I only give you the energy you give me. So if you make me a promise, silly me, I expect you to keep your word. And when that doesn't happen, then, oh, well, now you're being a troublemaker. You best get on from around here with that trouble talk. So what winds up happening is once you understand that your brain has the capability of creating revenue for yourself and you don't need them, but they need you, that you are the engine and not the battery, then that transition, even though it's scary as hell, even though it's a lot of hard work, it makes it so much easier. Because then you gotta look at it and say, you know what, this is where I am and this is where I want to be, and I'm never going to get there waiting for someone to give me my shot. Look, man, I spent 25 years of playing Please Sir, Listen to My Demo. I lived in 17 states. Yeah, look, you know the radio game. Let's not act like this is uncommon. You could be here today, going this afternoon. You could say, we'll be right back, and the station will be right back, and the part-timer who was getting your coffee last week got your slot.
Exactly.
And they got brand new billboards and everything for them, but wouldn't give you one. You see what I'm saying? But that's what you sign up for. And when you understand that it's their stuff and they are well within their rights to do that, you realize that the power is not in the fact that you got fired or manipulated or downsized or let go. It's the fact that you allowed yourself to be that vulnerable. And once you understand that you can own your own, boy, ain't nothing like it.
Come on now.
It's nothing like it.
Exactly.
My wife has been retired for a very long time. My child is at Howard University, debt-free.
Okay, then.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not sitting around here. I'm not going to put out no pianos. You're not going to see me wearing no suits. I'm not going to be dancing around, acting a fool. I'm not doing none of that. What I'm doing is handling my business, and I'm helping people get to their dreams. Not what I want them to be, but what they say they want. I only hold you to the level that you hold yourself. I just hold you accountable. You know what I'm saying?
Now, Dave, when it comes to having these ideas and stuff that we want to, manifest and, have come into fruition, how do we go about attaining capital to kind of fund these? And how important do you feel like the investment of money into your business is as far as obtaining wealth?
Okay, now, that's a tricky question.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you a very straight answer.
I'm with you.
All right. I started my business with a $12 GoDaddy website.
Come on now.
What I did not have in finance, I had in reputational currency. So for me, I know that my strength is in my relationships. And when you look around, a lot of times you have so much information in this thing. You don't even look at your contacts. I bet you $10,000 there's people in your phone you ain't talked to in years who could probably get you to the next level, but you have not taken the time to reach out to them. Everybody's guilty of that.
Yeah.
I make it a point to reach out to people, even if it's just once a month. Hey, how you doing? I love you. I was just thinking about you, so on and so forth. It goes a long way. And so I got on the gratitude train real quick, and I started leveraging those relationships. And I would say, hey, you remember when we did this thing? Or you remember when you asked me to do this and I did it, no problem? And they're like, yeah. Well, could you give me a video endorsement? Because I have a business, and now I'm doing that for private people. I'm doing that for people in entertainment, outside of entertainment. I got people who are doing lingerie, this, that, and the third, and I need your help. Then when I started to get clients, and I started real low and real slow, I started to get clients, and they had like nail polish or lingerie or a fitness tape or whatever the case may be. I found every good celebrity friend of mine who was actually a friend of mine, and I said, hey, I have this product. I'm going to do this. Can you do a video for me? Can you do an endorsement? Can you tweet this out? And that's how I started building those businesses. And so, last year we did 27 million in client revenue. This year we're at 54. So, to quote the immortal Kumo D, how you like me now? I'm not bragging, but it's facts.
Well, no, when you speak those facts, I have to dig deeper and ask you this next question.
Sure.
Because obviously scaling had to occur somewhere along the line. How did you go from being a sole proprietor to a man that was homeless with a dream to building a team to be able to take it to where you needed it to go?
Listen, bro, I had a really good blueprint. It's called the Bible.
Ooh.
So the first thing that I noticed is that, you know who Jesus' first disciples were, right? Mm-hmm. Peter and his brother Andrew.
That's right.
You know why he got them?
Talk to me.
Ever see Deadliest Catch? Right. So Deadliest Catch is a show about these folks that they're in the shrimping business, they're in the crab business, they're going out and they're getting crabs in the Bering Sea. The Bering Sea is extremely rough, it's extremely crazy, and none of them people you want to see in a dark alley.
Ooh.
Right. So biblically speaking, Peter and his brother were fishermen, which means that they went to different ports of call, spoke different languages, understood different customs, and wouldn't nobody mess with them.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? And you know what? Even if you didn't like the real hippie guy who was walking on water and healing palsy children, you respect these dudes.
Exactly.
So he built off of their credibility. So the first thing you do is you find your Peter. So when I was in college, I made the stupid mistake of telling the wrong people my dreams.
Ooh.
So I sit outside in the dorms and I'll be busting it up with my so-called friends. And I say, yeah, one day, I'm going to serve millions of people. One day I'm going to do books. One day I'm going to talk to people and you're going to see me on stage. You're going to see me on TV. I'm going to do reality shows. I'm going to be hanging out with celebrities. You just going to look up and be like, yo, I knew that dude when. And I said, when it's all said and done before my 50th birthday, I am going to headline Madison Square Garden without a ball or a joke.
Ooh.
And they stopped and they said, you ain't never gonna make it. And they did that. They put the camera on them. That's what they did. They fell the hell out. They fell the hell out. And that was the thing. But then one person was like, no, hold up. Dave is solid. I believe he's gonna do it.
Yeah.
On that rock, I built my business. So that person is my chief of staff. So 24 years of friendship and support has turned into somebody that if something happened to me, she would run the company until my daughters would be able to.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? But see, here's what we do. We ain't listen to Drake. No new friends. Another one. You know what I mean? Like, no, you gotta find somebody who will tell you the truth. You gotta find somebody who be like, listen, dog, I understand all that, but like, hey, remember when we was eating ramen noodles together? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the thing of it is, I didn't just choose her because she believed in me. I chose her because when I was in school and the Greeks were the only ones doing parties, and I wanted to promote parties, and we couldn't figure out a way to do it, we were sitting there looking in the rule book, and we were able to get curriculum budget money from the school because they got a war chest. So all you had to do was create a student organization. So I created one for me, she created one for her, and we started recruiting folks. And we were doing parties. We would take luxury buses and send everybody to shopping outlet malls with money. The school's money to buy polo and Movados and things of that nature. So it's that hustle type of situation. And when somebody understands that what you say is a little nuts, is a little crazy because it hasn't happened yet, and they still with you, everything else falls into place. Then you find people. See, this is what most folks do, and that's why they fail. They try to fix what's wrong with them. I'm not fixing what's wrong with me. I am bold. I am a loudmouth. I don't care if you like me. Well, what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So here's what I do. I got people who can handle certain things so that I don't have to deal with that. So I ain't got to sit up here and give you the bop. You understand what I'm saying? So I got people who specialize in web design. I got people who do graphic design. I got people who do social strategy. And I'm good at all of those things, but I don't need to do that. I am the best at putting together the plan. I don't need to be the one executing the plan. There's no cookie for that.
Come on.
So that's what you do, and that's how you go there. Once you start to scale and you got that one person, and then you start showing. See, there's another thing. Y'all love Kendrick, and I love Kendrick too, but that Sit Down and Be Humble song is the worst thing that ever happened to black folks this year.
Come on now.
Here's the thing. Humility is for the weak. They tell black people, oh, you gotta calm that down. Don't make too much noise. But then I look, and everybody else is, doing their thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody else is showing. What was Jesus' first miracle? Water and the wine at a wedding. Now let's take it a step further. Theologically speaking, that wine was top shelf. He could have just, seriously, you look in the Bible, it's dead there. He wanted to make sure that his mother didn't return foul. So he over-delivered. He didn't have to. He did the Sermon on the Mount and then had to feed them 5,000 people with a little boy's lunch and still had stuff left over. This is not the actions of somebody who's meek and mild.
That's right.
This ain't the actions of somebody who's weak. This is the actions of somebody who's making a statement against the establishment. Because if he was really humble, he would have went and sat under the Pharisees and just sat back. But that's what he wasn't here to do. He was a disruptor. So if we're really going to be Christ-like, then we need to start disrupting the patterns and disrupting the system and shaking it up. So once you start getting wins, and once you start being successful in helping people get what they want so that more people will help you get what you want, you let people know. No. Ooh, look at me. I'm flossing. I'm going to go to Enterprise and get me a Maybach so I can act like I got something, or I'm going to rent an Airbnb and floss up because this is my castle. I have done it. Like, nah. You show people. I took a woman who had a sick husband and built the largest online plus-size lingerie store on the planet, closed 37 Victoria's Secrets down.
Ooh.
Black woman.
Ooh.
I took somebody who had a college subscription box in one school, and now she's everywhere from Morehouse to Temple to Howard in the span of 10 months. I took a guy at my conference on July 26th, he started. On October 5th, he quit his job because he made $19,000. He didn't need that job. Job needed him.
Come on now.
So when you start showing people results, not beach balls, not cute little words, not fluff time, then people will gravitate to the results because the results stand up. The good thing is Google will tell all your business. It's a snitch.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah, Google long.
They
I'm
showed
good.
up
Like,
here.
Google me.
Now, Dave, in this digital age,
Yes, sir.
when attention is a currency in itself, how do you feel that one should go about monetizing that attention? Because, that's a new kind of deal when I speak to folks about it. The old phrase, pay attention, really means something now.
Yeah.
Folks can pay you with their eyeballs versus actually having to reach in their pockets. So what do you think about monetizing digital content and just regular intellectual property?
All right. Well, here's the thing. First things first. There's two ways to go about it. I'm a big believer in the game is to be sold, not to be told.
That's right.
On top of that, though, which is contradictory, I have a thing called free game alert. So I literally give out the game. And the reason I do is because nobody else will do it.
That's right.
And my whole thing is we've been held back enough. We have been deceived enough. We have been diminished enough. We have had enough Negroes come through on our backs and been like, oh, yeah, this, that, and the third. The next thing you know, they off balling.
Yeah.
And we still sitting here like, hey, what happened? So I'm not mad when somebody says, hey, I think such and such, now that such and such has $1 billion, he needs to teach how to get that money. So I tell people straight up and down. So if you want to do a course, I'm not mad at that. Just make sure the course has some value and it ain't something I can Google. And don't teach nothing you haven't actually done. Personally, I would rather go out and say, hey, Coca-Cola, I got this many people who follow me because I'm an entrepreneur. Give me that money. Or better yet, I want the white guilt money. If we're gonna talk honestly, let's talk honestly. I want the white guilt money. I want the money where I want Denny's to give me a check because they want to do right. I want Gucci to give me a check. Don't give it to Dapper Dan. He ain't gonna do right. I said what I said. You know what I'm saying? No diss. I'm just stating facts. Like we have to start charging people when they disrespect us because listen, country music is ours. Hip hop is ours. Sports is ours. But yet and still, we are the talent. We're not the management. And when we start to move into management, they say, you too big for your britches. They say you need to back up. Who do you think you are? And the truth of the matter is, I think I'm somebody with a hell of a lot of value. Guess what? Watch Master P. Master P has been consistent. Master P this morning announced that he bought House of Glory Wrestling. That might not be a big deal to some people, but it's a big deal to one man, Vince McMahon, because Master P has always looked out for people. Master P is the reason that Snoop is here.
Yeah.
Praise God.
Yeah.
Master P almost got his hands on Left Eye.
Ooh.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a lot there that Master P has done for people.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? The same thing with Luke. But watch Master P. Master P is showing you what it is. Master P is so dope that he put out I Got the Hookup 2 on every digital platform and in the theaters at the same time and went #1 in both. But we don't want to give that credit. You see what I'm saying? Because what you going to say? A man that takes care of his children and provides for his children. See, when other people do it, it's what you're supposed to do. When black people do it, oh, I don't like nepotism. That's not right. Listen, I'm building an empire for my children.
Exactly.
Because that's what God said to do. Build something for your children's children can inherit. That's my job.
Facts.
You understand what I'm saying? And so, like, I think that if you go and you get the money from the people who have been exploiting us,
So that drives me to my next question because, that was exactly what I wanted to ask you about as well. When it comes to sponsorships and partnerships, how does one go about pitching those ideas? Who do they need to contact to make that happen? And, what are some of the ways that somebody could go about making that happen for themselves?
Well, here's the thing, right? Everybody has a department, diversity and inclusion. I don't care if you're Coca-Cola. I don't care if you're Menon. I don't care if you're Red Bull. They all have it. And they all want the most powerful export in America, the black culture. That is the number one export if you go anywhere. I don't care who you talk to. Listen, you ask Banner when he had that number one record and he went over to Asia and saw all them folks walking around like us. Now, people get mad, but think about what happens. Here's my point, and I've argued this point on other radio shows, but I'm going to say this. If you notice, there's certain music now that black people cannot make that we used to make within music. We can't put out a record and say, I'm going to go to the thrift store and buy some stuff. But a white kid can and go number one. A white girl can sit up here and knock, diamonds and crystal and cars and all this stuff, and she gets lauded. But let one of us do that. They have a song called Lifestyles of Rich and Famous, and everybody Good Charlotte talks about is black. They talk about, OJ, did you know that if you were famous and you killed your wife, there's no such thing as 25 to life as long as you've got the cash to pay for Cochran? Did you know that if you were caught, you were smoking crack, McDonald's wouldn't even want to take you back, but you could always run for mayor of D.C.? And we allow this to happen, and it goes unchecked. But when the Jersey Shore first came out, Italian Americans and New Jerseyans was like, nope, not happening. You see what I'm saying? Who, I'm going to ask you a question real quick. Who do Koreans vote for? What is their political affiliation? Do you know?
I don't know of any.
No, okay. What about the Chinese when they set up Chinese stores in black communities and don't give a dime to black people, but give you your food behind bulletproof glass? Who are they worried about voting for?
I don't know of anybody else.
Exactly. So number one, they don't have a political affiliation because they have each other. And number two, when they don't have each other, they have us. We got to stop being the battery and start being the engine.
Now, when it comes to the fear, in your case, your back was against the wall, so it was time for you to go ahead and fight a flight, so you knew what time it was for you. What about that person that's working that 9 to 5, they're miserable every day, and they are having the darndest time trying to convince themselves that, you know what, I need to go ahead and execute this idea that I have?
I'm going to be honest with you. Even Jesus said, my sheep will hear my voice. Everybody's not going to move. Like, we got to be honest. Well, that's another problem. We got to stop embracing our trash. Listen, when white folks have their trash, they put them in trailer parks. You know, when natives have their trash, they put them on reservations. When we have our trash, we say, oh, that's just how they is. And we put them in the back room even though they touched our daughter. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's so much that, like, I can't, as a man, should I have to convince you to put your pants on and take care of your family? That I got to do that?
Not at all.
All I'm required to do is be an example.
That's right.
That's it. You know, I give people the information, but listen, like Chris Rock famously said, drug dealers don't sell drugs, they offer drugs.
Thanks.
I'm offering you an opportunity to get out from under because the amount of money you're making will never equal the amount of money you're making them. I make $50 an hour. Good on you, numbnuts. Guess how much they're making off of you? I'm saying, like, and I'm not looking, if that's what you love, if you love Taco Tuesdays, you know, if you love celebrating that, you know, this quarter you hit this many bonus benchmarks, well, guess what? They're going to give you some wings and some pizza because you helped them pay for their vacation home. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would be sick. I got tired of that. Yep. I got tired of looking around and, you know, I wanted to take some time and buy a new car, but I couldn't. I wanted to be able to go on nice vacations, but I couldn't. But the people that I was putting in positions to win was vacationing all the time. I knew people who I've helped who were making so much money, they would take their checks from their radio gig and put them in the top drawer of their bedroom and not cash them for months. And the company didn't even realize they weren't being cashed until somebody said, hey, these checks aren't being cashed. And came to me and said, why isn't such and such cashing their checks? Oh, they don't need them. They're making this much money out here doing their own thing. And then you double down on that. The other part of that is there's too many feelings involved. I am a very large man. I don't always like the way I show up on camera, but I love to have a camera in my face. You understand? because there's somebody right now who's like, yo, I don't know who this dude is, but like, yo, Rick Ross is stunt double and Killer Mike's half brother is spitting some real ish right now.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't run from an opportunity to make a new friend, client, whatever the case may be, because you never know, you know what I'm saying, where it's going to come from.
Now, Dave.
Yes, sir.
What are some of the business lessons that you learned hands-on that you just was not able to get in business school?
93% of them. Listen, man, the majority of business schools have people who are not business owners teaching. You don't have current entrepreneurs. You have entrepreneurs who used to do things, but then got out of the game because, well, it was too hectic and I don't want to mess with this newfangled stuff. So everything you're learning is about 20, 25 years old and out of date. I learned, quite frankly, that the real money is in your audience. If you don't take your audience with you, you're a fool. In 2008, I was talking to a certain nationally syndicated personality who did not work at this company. And I talked to him and I said to him, listen, I created this over here for my talent. I think that you should create this for your talent. And he said, well, you know, family, I'm not going to, I don't really see the point in that, family. All right. I said, okay, cool. All right. You know, and that was the end of it. I'm never going to force you into a situation.
Yeah.
And then when he found himself ass out, he didn't have that audience. A lot of us depend so much on social media, we never stop to think that Thanos is around. Thanos' real name is Mark Zuckerberg. You think I'm lying? Call the Shade Room. Shade Room had 4 million followers on Facebook, and for whatever reason, Zuck said, and he ain't snapped half, he snapped them all out. That would have been fine if they actually had the email list. The email list is a lot more important than vanity metrics and blue checks because that email list leads to green checks. So that's lesson number one. Number two, document absolutely every single thing. And that goes from, you know, videotaping what you're doing. Like everybody, especially black folks, I'm black, so I'm always going to talk about black folks because that's all I know. And my professional experience is what I do. But black folks love to show everybody how they, you know, they're at the top of the mountain, but they don't ever show them the bleeding knuckles on the way up.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
Like, I got it all. Like, I got all my stuff on tape. I got tapes that people will hope I never release. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's not about them and it's not about, you know, holding things hostage. It's about this is my history. And if I don't protect and control my narrative, then other people will control my narrative at a profit. If you look at what they did to Martin Luther King, they turned Martin Luther King into a My Little Pony character. They narrowed this man down to one speech, one sermon, and that's it. They don't talk about the fact he said, no, I might have just integrated my people into a burning house. They don't talk about that. They don't talk about when we go to D.C., we're going to get our check. They don't talk about that. All they say is, now, you can't talk all that blackety black stuff. Martin Luther King was about everybody. No, Martin Luther King was about his people, but y'all like to edit that out because you martyred him. So a lot of people are being martyred by their bosses, by their direct supervisors, by their companies, by 360 deals. You're being martyred so that somebody else can control and clean up your image. You know, where was all this love for Nip when Nip was breathing? Everybody loved Nipsey all of a sudden. Where were y'all? I ain't see y'all running a marathon. I ain't see none of y'all, with very few exceptions, running around here with marathon on your mouth.
Come on now.
You see what I'm saying? Like, let's run the tape. And that's the thing. Every time somebody dies, and everybody was just their biggest fan. Stop.
Now, let me get back in here, Dave. Sure. As a father, what is it that you tell your children, man? Because, see, this is the thing about it. You have ran your marathon, and you've come out on the other side victorious. They are beginning to run their marathons now.
Yep.
So what are the jewels and the nuggets that your children have? Because that's another thing. You know, like I said earlier, I teach at Clark Atlanta, so I try to teach my students exactly the things that I know so they can expedite their whole careers a lot faster than I did. But when I tell them that my daughter who's 13 years old, has 1,000 subscribers on YouTube for her content that she makes, they're like, how did she do that? I said, because she listens to her daddy. Y'all won't listen to your teacher, but that child is listening to her daddy. So talk to me as a father. What is it that you're telling your daughter that she's able to run with it now?
I would love to tell you, see, the good thing is you said your daughter's 13?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, enjoy it. Because there's about to be a shift. Because right now, you the smartest, strong, you Superman right now, bruh. There's gonna listen. Every kid, I don't care who it is. Every kid is going to try and figure it out on their own. So get ready for the bumps and the bruises. You about to hit the bumps and the bruises. All right. But in all seriousness, what I tell my oldest child is not what I tell my youngest child. And here's why: they're two different people.
That's
So
right.
I gotta approach them differently.
Facts.
You understand what I'm saying? Like
Facts.
my brother is real introverted, but my brother's real good with guns. That's what makes him an amazing cop. I choose to be extroverted and I'm real good with guns, which makes me an amazing citizen. So the thing of it is, I tell my oldest daughter, listen, there are 3 types of men. You know, there's the good man, there's the bad man, and then there's the worst man.
Ooh.
Now, the good man is going to treat you right, take you out, take care of you, provide, do everything that he's supposed to do. The bad man ain't going to do none of that, and he's only going to try and put it down. And the worst man acts like the good man. That's what makes him the worst, but he's really the bad man in disguise.
Ooh.
But whether you're the good man, the bad man, the worst man, they all want you. So guard that with your life.
Come on now.
I know you're gonna do your look. I know you're gonna do your dirt, and I don't want to.
Exactly.
I'm Mario Winans when it comes to that.
Come
I
on.
don't want to. Okay.
Don't wanna
So
know.
hey, dog. So I tell her that. I also tell her that you never get another opportunity to be young, and the older you get, the less special you are. I started at 9 in this business, making me one of, if not the youngest one to have a full-time contract in elementary school, in radio. I'll be 42 this year.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm not special, but I'm special in a different way now. I'm not cutesy special. I got grays in my beard, and they in odd places. You know what I'm saying? Like this right here don't make no sense. I told my wife, I said, wait, so the babe, she said, no, baby, them whitewater rapids. So when you young, like that's when you go get it.
Yeah.
Listen, we spend too much time when we're young trying to fit in. Do you know what fit in is? First of all, there are 6 people. 6 people who do not look like you, who are all white Jewish men who decide what you think is cool. And they'll shove it down your throat and they'll hit you with it because if they control what you see and what you hear and what you experience, then they will control your mind. If you know how someone will think, you don't have to worry about what they'll do. You know they'll stand outside for Jordans. And somebody said to me the other day, Mr. Anderson, we don't stand outside for Jordans anymore. I said, I know y'all got the Nike website. Y'all just wait till 10 o'clock and then hit a button and hope that you ain't got to go over to StockX and get them shoes. I get it. It's still the same thing. While you're fighting over cheap Taiwanese leather, I made sure that somebody in Italy crafted my sneakers. You see what I'm saying? Italian leather is the best leather on the planet.
That's right.
So I'm teaching my kid through example, like, look, do this, be young, go for everything, make as many mistakes while you're on my payroll.
Come on.
Because you're on my payroll till you're 26.
That's right.
When you get off my payroll, I should have done at that point, I did all I could do. You see what I'm saying? But before she was 17, because she's a photographer, she's a film major at Howard. Her pictures have been featured on BET.com, Huffington Post, USA Today, Philadelphia Inquirer, Philadelphia Daily News, all before her 17th birthday.
That's right.
So when people run around on campus talking, I did this and I did that, she just be like, oh, okay, cool. And she ain't got to tell them nothing.
Ain't got to.
You see what I'm saying? Because the receipts speak. And that's what it is. Now with my youngest is a lot like me. Like my oldest daughter is like her mother. My youngest is a lot like me, and she's like, "Hey, Daddy, listen, I'll be doing a Facebook Live, and my daughter will break away from my wife, run downstairs, bust through the office, and be like, "Hey, people, what's up? How y'all doing?" I'm like, "Babe, I'm talking to the people." No,
That's
Daddy,
right.
these my people. She ready?
Yeah,
like she ready at 4.
Yeah, she ready.
The problem is, you know what most people would do? Oh, go sit your ass down.
No.
Not me. No, like, hey, everybody, this is Devlin.
Exactly.
Devlin, y'all gonna be working for her in a minute.
Ooh.
So you get ready. And I let her be who she is.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why at first she's like, Daddy, I don't want that. Like, she used to just want pancakes with butter and syrup. And then now all of a sudden she just want pancakes, no butter, no syrup. She's like, not that syrup, Daddy. And she says it just like that, not that syrup, Daddy. We got to encourage our children to be who they are. They are not us. They come from us, but they are not us.
Facts.
On top of that, most parents, and I'm not saying I'm the world's greatest parenting expert, I just know a few things. I come from Reaganomics. I come from, the Clinton 3 strikes you're in. I come from that era. So my mind is fixed on that era. My mom, came through, coming off of the baby boomers and civil rights and all that. So she comes from that. My dad was born in 1935, so he's got an even deeper knowledge of, coming off of World War II and what that life was like. You see what I'm saying? Because my grandmother was born in 1904. So I got all these different people teaching me all these different things, but none of them apply to right now. So I do my best to say, listen, this is how I see this. You know, eat the meat and discard the bones. I would not have had as many best-selling books if I did not go in my oldest daughter's room and say, listen, show me the Snapchat thing. And she would be like, you do this, you do that, you do this, you do that. And I said, well, what's this feature here? And she would show it to me. Then I went off and made the Snapchat book. You see what I'm saying? So I'm letting my children teach me while I teach my children. Because if they can teach me, then they can run out in the world. The last thing I'm going to say about my kids. Both of my kids are avid gamers. Like hard body. If it's a system, they got it. And people are like, why would you spend that much money on video games for your kids? Because it stimulates them. It makes them have cognitive abilities. It makes them focus on different problem-solving tasks. It lets them walk through things. It helps them get out their frustrations. It's cathartic. My oldest child went on that campus. Nobody at Howard wants anything to do with my child when it comes to video games. I don't care if it's 2K, Mortal Kombat, nothing. This child at 3 years old beat Grand Theft Auto. At 3. My oldest beat Grand Theft Auto at 3 in the course of a few hours.
My God.
Unguided.
Damn.
On my father's urn. That is not a lie. Because, you know, even my mother-in-law was like, why are y'all letting her play it? No, let her play it.
Exactly.
Because she ain't going to cut nobody up. That's not how that works. I saw every Terminator movie. I saw Scarface at 3 in a drive-in.
Exactly.
I ain't never cut nobody
Come on now.
that we know of. So yeah, like I think we got to understand that this is a different world.
That's right.
Don't take the screens away from them. This all they gonna have.
Exactly.
What you gonna do when they had to put the contact in the eye and the contact? Okay, never mind.
I done been there, Black Mirror. I know exactly what you're talking
dog,
about.
hey.
I'm with you, Dave.
Hey dog, hey.
Hey, man, but lastly, I got to thank you for coming through this thing, boss.
Brother, thank you for having me. It's an honor.
Yeah, man, appreciate it. Wish you nothing but the best and much success.
Thank you,
How
sir.
can these people contact you?
Oh, man, real easy. If you go to freegamealert.com, like a lot of these coaches, they'll give you the sizzle and not the steak. So I want you to actually get the information. This is how I built my business. This is what I did. These are the things that you're going to need to do. And I literally break it down for about 20 minutes. And I want you to go off and do what you want to do with that. Everybody is not ready to come work with me, and that's cool because they might not have the will or the check, or they might have the will but not the check yet. We do payment plans and financing, FYI. But at least I want to give you something so that you have a starting point so you can actually go out here and build your business. What good am I making money if ain't nobody else with me? Like, what does Snoop say? Ain't no fun if the homies can't have none.
Yeah.
We got everything. Whatever we drink, whatever we touch, whatever we want, that's what they want to capitalize on. Why can't we capitalize on us? So go to freegamealert.com. Also on Instagram, The Business Bully. I'm very easy to find. And, yeah, I mean, just check out my content, man. I hope you'll be blessed by it, and I appreciate the platform. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, brethren, because you done blessed a lot of folks with this game that you done gave away today, man.
I'm trying.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Beehive Radio Shout. It's at 107.9, man. Let's go.